My name is Chris Morris. I'm an archivist at the Computer History Museum. I am here today with Jeff Goodall. Today is October 11th, 2023, and we are conducting an interview for the VMware Founders Collection. This interview will become part of the permanent collection at the Computer History Museum. Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
It's an honor. Thank you. Yeah.
Just to start, tell us your current title and your home base.
Yeah, so my current title is Program Manager for our corporate headquarters site here in Palo Alto on the Research Park.
And tell us a little bit about your education and career path leading up to VMware.
Okay. I have a background in graphic design. I worked for a startup before the bubble blew up in '98, around there. And from there, I went back to working at a law firm. Previously, before working for graphic design folks, I worked at a law firm. So I went back to working at a law firm, worked there for a little while, and I was friends with one of the directors who left to go to the Stanford Law School. And she took me with her to renovate their classrooms, their faculty offices, their student offices, and we finished that program up. And I was bored, and I put my resume up on Monster because I had a kiddo on the way, and Stanford doesn't really pay all that well for support staff. So I got a call from a recruiter to come interview at a company called VMware. And I'm like, VMware, what is that? So I did, and the first interview I went on, I was in our building up on 3210, the first real site. And I was sitting in the lobby and I was looking at Forbes magazine articles in the reception area, and one of them had Diane Greene, co-founder and CEO of VMware, on the article. So I picked it up and I'm looking at this article, and it said virtual machine, and I'm reading about the virtual machine, and coming down the stairwell in the reception area is Diane Greene. I'm like, oh my gosh, Diane Greene. And here she comes walking down. And I'm like, hi, Diane. My name is Jeff Goodall. I'm interviewing for a position with your company. And I don't really understand this virtual machine. And she didn't break stride. She looked at me, she smiled, and she said, that's because it doesn't exist. And she just kept walking, and I was like, so for 2 years, I didn't know what we did once I got the job as a facilities technician. It was just amazing.
What was VMware? Well, okay, wait. Just for the record, you started at VMware in 2006.
Yeah. Been here a little over 17 years.
What was VMware like in 2006?
Hurry up, get it fixed, and say you're sorry later. We were a startup, and we were a disruptive company. Our competition was a lot of the big software giants like Microsoft. They had their NX platform out, which really threatened them when it came to VMware's products. Our products, I mean, they tried to kill us. They also were interested in buying us, but from my understanding, Diane Greene didn't want to go under Microsoft's wing. We were just running around trying to make things work. We were having a great time doing it. Long hours, weekends. The sites that we leased, some of them, the one that I was brought in to run, Deer Creek office, were falling apart. The Deer Creek office that I was hired to take care of is an old HP building that was built in the early 60s. And it was originally designed for 350 people. We had to redesign the space, restripe the parking lot for 450 people, and we had valet parking at one point for people to come in and go into the office, and we'd park their cars for them. People wouldn't leave for lunch because they were afraid of losing their parking spot. It was so funny. This place was under construction. Promontory broke ground in 2005. So I did a lot of running back and forth to help with Promontory, and then over across Hillview Avenue up to Deer Creek through the SAP lot to get back to Deer Creek to help with them with what they needed. The Deer Creek office was a clunky building, but the people sure made it special. When we opened it, we had finance, we had real estate and workplace, security, legal, and sales in that building, all 5 of those departments. We were that small back then in '06, and now look at us today at 38,000 people.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Tell us a little bit about the team that pulled together this campus. How did the campus grow over time, and how did the team make that happen?
Yeah, that's a really good question. For what we have today, how did we do this on so many levels? You know, with Diane Green, she wanted to start a green initiative with her campus, being one of the first made from sustainable and recycled materials. You know, wood benches and wood tables, furniture made from reclaimed wood. No trees were cut down to kill our to build our campus, pardon me. Recycled glass, recycled metals, the brushed aluminum that was used as accent in our hallways. It was all recycled aluminum and materials, and it was something that nobody ever did before. So Diane Green and our original founders were mavericks in more ways than just tech. Our site, to this day, and especially back then, was the envy of so many others. I heard that Google Cloud, when they built their building that's over on 237, they came over here a few different times to see what we'd done to bring it over to Google Cloud, to build there. And that's how many years later, you know, when we opened back in '06, the first building. We had a tight team in facilities, no BS, constant communication, no silos. Get it done, get it fixed, whatever it takes. You know, the building that I took care of, Deer Creek office, it was designated mission critical by one of our CFOs, Mark Peak. So, you know, quarter end, that building had to be running, had to be comfortable with HVAC, with the temperatures, with electrical running, plumbing. You know, people don't think about these things until they're broken and they really need to use them. So where the camera is, treat your facilities people well. Yeah, support staff's important.
What did the team and the company do to facilitate, literally in a physical way, this innovative environment that VMware is so proud of?
Yeah, that's cool. I give tours here of our campus. I take them around the site, whether it's interns, new employees, customers, partners, whoever wants a tour, right? If I can fit it into my schedule, I do that. And I always get back to that basic with what our site is about. Diane Green wanted, in the simplest terms and form, a college campus look with a resort feel. And it was something that nobody else ever did. And they still don't do it to this day. I give tours to tech folks that have a lot of money, a big budget, and they say to me at the end of the tour, you know, your campus is prettier than ours. Your campus is more beautiful than theirs. And that's something that we're really proud of. I mean, every day somebody mentions something about this campus that stands out to others. You know, whether I saw a coyote, or I saw baby owls in our owl boxes, or last night I was here and I saw something fly overhead and I have no idea what it was, but it was so amazing with the stars. And the full moon rises over our Hilltop Sea Cafe every full moon, and it reflects on our lily ponds and the approach artwork that we have that meets and greets everybody that drives in our main entryway and our main lobby. Yeah. I think I answered your question.
Sort of. I think also, like, I'm wondering if there's something that more on the employee side, or maybe in the workspaces side, like, what are the workspaces, how do the workspaces foster, like, employee creativity and vibe, for lack of a better word?
We like to have fun while we get the job done. Yeah, we used to do this thing every Friday called the Friday Beer Bash. That Friday around 4 o'clock, if you played an instrument, if you like to sing, or you like just to have a good time, we'd get together. We'd have a couple of beers, have some catered, some food and all that. We'd bring the new employees that were hired that week, introduce them around all the people that have been there before, whether it was a week or a year or whatever, and welcome you into the VMware family. Yeah. Our sites are designed for people. to enjoy each other, whether it's on a one-on-one basis and you go for a walk from building to building or site to site on campus, or you take your team on a walk down to the turtle pond or over to the cafeteria to get a little gelato or get a coffee, or just sit outside, breathe, take a break from tech, or go into one of our wellness rooms and pray, meditate, relax. We have everything here. It's unbelievable. But let me take that back. We don't have everything. We don't have like laundry rooms or sleeping quarters or anything like that. Our founders wanted us to have a life away from VMware, a life at home. And that's part of our culture too, not to be overworked and have to put in like 10, 12 hours a day. And I tell you what, I've put in those hours doing what I do, and I don't mind it at all. I love it because of our culture, and it's all about the people here at VMware.
I wonder if you can say something about the culture building process, and specifically your role in events and activities that help build that culture.
Yeah, okay. Well, I manage a couple of our people programs here on site, and it's not me, it's we. There's a team of us that get together every year, and we celebrate Diwali. So we have people that love the Festival of Lights, that love the food and the music and the fashion that are all associated with that Diwali celebration. So we build a program around that. And we do it on our own times. Don't get me wrong, we don't fool around here at VMware. We're really productive and driven by our products and the bottom line. But if you can't have fun doing what you love, what's the point, right? So we set a date, we pick a theme, and then we build a program around that. And it's not just Diwali either. We also do it with Lunar New Year. Before the pandemic, we celebrated the Year of the Rat. The rat's all about new beginnings, and that's when the pandemic hit. So how appropriate is that? And my favorite event here we celebrate, it's called Turtle Day, Earth Day. We have the families and the kids come out, and we teach them about composting, recycling, and the earth, ocean conservation, and our turtles. It's fun. Family-friendly company, from Diane Green all the way up now to Ragu. It's very cool.
I'm trying to frame a question around this culture, and maybe you can speak specifically, since you mentioned the pandemic, about how VMware maintained that culture through the challenge of people not being physically together.
Yeah, that was really interesting. So when the pandemic hit in 2020 and we were all told to stay home, I was, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm in meetings and events. That's 80% of my job. That's setup. That's catering. That's food and drink. That's space. That's getting people together in a location, which the pandemic didn't offer. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Kept running around in my head. And then I looked in a mirror at my house and I said, no, not what are we going to do? What are you going to do? And so I got busy learning the tech that was available at the time to connect everyone. Zoom. Good timing. We were in a company meeting, and Betsy, our chief people person, was talking about culture and how we're going to stay together and stay connected. And I wrote in the chat, I said, why don't we do a virtual bash? Let's do a virtual bash in place of that Friday bash that we do. And I wasn't thinking much of it, but then Susan Inslee, one of our VPs, I think is she senior VP now? I don't remember. But she reached out to me and said that Betsy saw your idea about doing a virtual bash, and she wants to run with it. So I started reaching out to people that I'd known at the company that would, yeah, let's do that. Hans, our chicken man, some of the other people in HR, and the more extroverted So we put programs together, and we'd have them once every 3 weeks, once a month, and we do the themes. You know, I remember our Hispanic Heritage Month virtual bash. We had people from all over the globe participating. Costa Rica, folks with Cuban backgrounds. We were able to connect more because of the pandemic than before in person. You know, Palo Alto, I didn't realize how siloed we were, but because of those bashes with our diversity, equity, inclusion themes, we grew and we connected more. Yeah. Hope that answered your question.
It did, absolutely.
Cool.
Because this is one thing that's interesting about VMware is that the Palo Alto campus is such a magnet and a draw and a center of the corporate culture.
Yeah.
But everyone I have talked to all over the world now, as I've been talking to people,
How cool.
remark that they all feel very connected and very much a part of the company. And they all mention, not all, but most mention the first time they came here
Yeah.
and what they thought of being here on campus.
Yeah. What'd they say?
Just, they all were sort of in awe. Like, I
Yeah.
remember driving up and I remember going to the building. I remember meeting all these people and just being, sort of feeling that energy and vibe that they had sort of felt from a distance, but really being in the middle of it.
Yeah.
What are some other of the projects, programs, formal or informal, that you've been part of that you're very proud of?
Oh my gosh, I got to go with the turtles first and foremost. Down at the promontory site, our 6 buildings, we have a pond. And initially, Diane Green, she wanted koi fish in that pond. And we tried to get the pond established for koi fish and also have it clear water so you can see the beautiful river rocks that are in there. Well, koi fish don't like chemicals of any kind. Diane Green wanted a clear pond. It was rough. It was really tough to get the balance to put fish in there. Every time we put a fish in, it didn't do very well. We had to get it out. And we started opening up buildings down there at Promontory, so other tasks and help tickets took precedence. So we had to put the pond on hold. Well, one day, it was crazy. It was really crazy. An example of that, before I get back to that story, I mean, in one building, this person was too cold. And this person in the cube right next door was too hot. And this person didn't have blinds on their window, and the sun was getting in, and the plumbing wasn't working in this restroom. It was just, oh my God, it takes a year to break a building in, because you have to go through all the seasons for the full year to really balance the HVAC and get everything set in place. And oh my God, the snack program was a complaint from people. But anyways, I told my team one day when we were having a little craziness, I said, I'm gonna go off-site for lunch. I need a break, I'll be back. So I got in my car and I got onto 280 and I headed north and I got off on Alpine Road and I was just driving. I wasn't specifically going to any particular place. I just needed to get away. And I found myself at the Alpine Inn, formerly known as Rosati's. And I walked in the door and I saw Molly, the owner proprietor, and I waved her. I said, "Hi, Molly, how you doing?" And she said, "Hey, Jeff." And I'm like, "Hi." She's like, "Ah." And I'm like, "Molly, are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you so upset?" She said, "Well, Jeff, somebody left a turtle here outside, and I don't know what to do with it. It's in the kitchen. I think I'm just going to let it go in the back, in the creek in the back." And they have a creek in the back of the Alpine Inn Beer Garden. And I said to her, "Molly, you can't do that. It'll die. You know, a predator will get it." And I'm like looking in the kitchen. I'm like, "What do you really have a turtle?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's right back there." And sure enough, there was this little turtle in a 10-gallon tank. So I said, You know, we have a pond back at work. I'll take it. Needs a home. So after I ate lunch, I put the turtle in the, I was walking out with the turtle, and before I left, I said, "Hey, Molly, what are you calling this turtle? Does this turtle have a name?" And she said, "We've been calling it Rosie, because we used to be called Rosatis." And okay, cool, Rosie the turtle. So I put Rosie in my Jeep, and I head back to work, and I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Diane Green wants koi fish, and I've got a turtle in the, don't turtles eat fish? I was so worried about that. And I pulled up next to Prom D, one of the buildings right next to the pond, and I grabbed the turtle. And I was looking around making sure security didn't see me, and none of my co-workers and facilities, and I snuck it through the building, and I snuck her up to the edge of the pond, and I put her in the water, and she sank like a rock. I thought I thought I killed her, but she swam off. And I'm like, okay, I'll be back later to feed you. I don't know what. God, I was so scared I was going to get in trouble. So I'd feed her. Every couple of days I'd go down and, where's that damn turtle? Oh, there she is. And I make sure nobody was looking, and then I throw her some food. Okay, I'll be back, and then run back to work. Then an email went out company-wide. One of the engineers saw that we had a turtle in the pond and said, "Hey, you guys know we have a turtle in the pond?" And I'm like, oh no, because we're still trying to get koi fish. And I started writing an email. I did it. It was me, fess up, right? Before I could hit send, though, another engineer chimed in and said, "Yeah, I saw that turtle sunning itself on a rock. It needs a friend." So I deleted my draft, and I just kept feeding that turtle food. And then Rosie got Robbie, a turtle that needed a home too. And then Petey came along, and then Trixie, and then Houdini, and Carl, and Larry. Larry named after my dad, and Carl Eschenbach. Yeah, Carl's in the pond. 17 turtles, all that needed a home. Wow. Edit this.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, we don't edit anything.
No, that's great.
It's okay.
I was so scared about this, but I find that when I do the things that I'm afraid to do, miracles happen.
Mm-hmm. And the turtles really are like so. I have to say that when I was tasked with collecting things for VMware, I thought, what in the world? It's virtual. Everything is virtual. And interestingly, the tangibility of those turtles, their realness, you know, their personalities, their little habitat right here with you all is such a beautiful touchstone for the company. And you can't plan those things, right?
No. We have lightning in a bottle. Turtles in a pond. Yeah. And each one is unique, just like each one of our people, you know. They're part of our company. It's like our Epic 2 values, the foundation of who we are. So special.
Mm-hmm. And now we have one in the collection at the Computer History Museum. Not a real turtle.
I think that was me that got that one to you, right? Yeah. No, I can't even tell you how amazing this ride has been. I mean, I am so excited to come here every day to help, to ensure our success. And I'm not alone, you know. Whether you've been here for 17 years or 17 minutes, it's an instant hook for what we have and what everybody wants to be a part of. It's just, who has that? Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your board a little bit?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Show off some of the...
Yeah, so, gosh, we have a community. Customers, partners, they're visitors from around the world. God, they're all so great to be a part of in my own little way. Our VMware, our user group, all over the world, the people that use our products, that are experts in our products, that get together all in different areas of the world to discuss our products and learn about VMware's culture and community. They have their own little sticker. Here's like the VMUG Buffalo, and here's VMware China, and there's a Tokyo one up here of Japan VMUG. And if you give me your VMUG sticker, or your sticker at all, if you're part of the pod, or any sort of a project at VMware, and you have a sticker that comes along with that, you have a place on the board. Yeah. So this is years and years worth of stickers. And this is my favorite mode of transportation around our beautiful site. I got tired of running, and this is faster and more fun. So yeah, VMUG, the VMUG board.
And you've got your VMware 25 on the end there.
I sure do. Right here. How about that, huh? 25 years. In 1998, it all started with 5 people. And here we are today, coming up on, over 26 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1998, a heck of a year. It's the year I got married. I'm still married to that lovely woman.
I wonder if there are any people that you would like to mention, people who've had a particularly positive impact on your career here at VMware.
Wow. That's a good question. I mean, there's so many that have been part of helping me grow and to learn. Excited to do new things at our company. I mean, early on, I was the give it to Jeff guy. Nobody else wanted to do it. But I'm blessed with being able and having a knack to make it fun, like giving tours. Our senior director back then was too busy to give a tour to some customers that wanted to see the site. He said, give it to Jeff, have Jeff do it. And I've been giving tours ever since. I got to do a shout out to my first boss, Jeff Hansen. He was the get it done. He was the get it done boss. I learned a lot from him as far as like, don't procrastinate. Yeah, it's important. Do it. And then Linda Marie Santiago, I learned, probably not directly from her, but maybe an indirect way, that if she wanted something, you better have 5 different ways of doing it, and then the next 3 steps after doing that. Okay, that's done, what's next? And what's not after that? And I never thought that way before until working for her. Mimi and Marla and the events team, and Jen Shockley. I've always been a visually creative person, but I didn't really know how to apply it. And being open to people for ideas and insight. Everybody, like, why don't we try it this way? Or what do you think about doing this or whatnot? And that in reverse too. Nobody ever got their ego involved. It was always, where are we going? How can we make it fun for our stakeholders, under budget and on time? That was it. What's next? Yeah. Gosh, there's so many names I could mention. I mean, Diane Green, Paul Moritz, our second CEO, Pat Gelsinger, who, with Betsy Sutter, created our Epic 2 values. And then Raghu Raghuram, our CEO right now, seeing him come in as a program manager, and now he's the CEO for the greatest software company on the planet. I'm a part of that. Wow. Yeah. Oh, can't forget Zane, our previous CFO. Zane taught me it was okay to be fun and funny and smart and informed all at once for your people, either one-on-one or on stage with the global meeting. Yeah, I've learned something from all of them. Yeah.
The last question on my list is, okay.
You make me cry again.
Yeah,
Huh?
I am. What do you think is VMware's lasting impact? In whatever way you want to define impact.
So, I've seen a lot of people come through those doors, and I've seen a lot leave. Some of them even come back. And whenever they reach out to me and say goodbye, I always say, be well and stay epic. Yeah. So I don't know what the future holds for me. I don't have a very good crystal ball, but I will take our execution with passion and integrity to whatever community and customer is out there. Yeah. Our values don't just apply to professional, but also personal. Yeah, you made me cry again.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Those are all the questions on my list. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Be well. Stay epic.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.